Is IntelliZoom really a way to potentially earn up to $60 per hour by testing websites, or is it a waste of time? My name is Michael and I love testing different ways to make money online, and many have recently asked me for an updated IntelliZoom review, so therefore I decided to record this video where I'll show you both the pros and the cons so you know exactly how it works and can decide for yourself whether this is the right opportunity for you or not. So let's start by going over who can join IntelliZoom, and they do have a list of the exact countries. I do like that they actually have that, because some platforms they just kind of like hide a little bit which countries it's available in, but here they write it very clearly. You see here US, Canada, UK, Germany, Spain, Australia, Netherlands, Sweden, France, Denmark, Switzerland, India, Austria and Ireland. If you live in one of these countries at the time of recording this video, that's the countries you can join from. Also, you do need to be fluent in at least one of the following languages, so that's just something to be aware of. If this is not you, then I do have a list on my website of the best survey panels, for example, in different countries, so you can choose other countries. I'll leave a link to that below also. But if you do live in one of these countries, let us talk a little bit more about how you can earn here. So I've just created a new account to show you how it looks from the start, and what you need to do is to participate in these different user tests. I'll show you some type of tests a little bit later here, some examples of it, but that means like in most cases you need to record your screen and also speak out loud when you are recording and sharing your thoughts. And when you first join, you need to do this practice test here, and it usually takes like 5 minutes or so. You need to use a webcam and a microphone, and this is where they will test it, and you need to actually take you a little bit of time to do it properly, take it seriously, because if you don't pass it, you will not actually get access to the paid task. So that's something to be aware of. And speaking of tasks, let's then go into what type of tasks you can usually do. And you can see that, for example, have these think out loud. So that requires you to think out loud. You'll get a question or so. It can actually be quite fun to participate in tasks like that. I think so anyway. So they say like, okay, you're on this website, for example, your task is to do this, and then you need to record your face and your voice while you're trying to navigate. It's like, okay, here this looks a little bit strange, I can't find that for this and this. So basically your whole thought process, because this will be used to understand consumer behavior and improve, for example, the design and usability of websites, just as an example. They also have other types you can see, for example, where you need to card sort studies here that will give you a list of things to categorize into certain topics. And they also have like screenshot click test, they call it, where you get static image and ask where you might click on it to find something interesting. And also they have online interviews and diary studies there, so they have quite a few different ones. In my experience, these like think out loud is the most common. That's also the first like practice test you need to do, is also this type of task. But just so you have an overall idea about the different types of studies you can get paid to take in here. And speaking of getting paid, let's talk about how you can actually get paid before we talk about how much you can overall earn. So once you've completed a test, then you get an email confirming it, that it has been uploaded, and then after that they need to approve it first. So you have to connect via PayPal, and then you will get paid in 14 days. So it takes a little bit of waiting time. That's something you need to be aware of. But it's not that you have to reach a certain threshold. Once it has been approved, you will get paid. You just have to wait, but you need to connect via PayPal. So PayPal is the way to get paid. And let's now then talk about the overall earning potential of it. So the exact payment per test, of course, depends on the specific test and the length of the complexity and everything. But they have some information where they say the average here, and they have this, what they call unmoderated studies. Here you will usually get anywhere from $1 to $8 to participate. But you will always be able to see in the invitation, either on the dashboard or in the email you get with an invitation, also exactly how much you will get paid and approximately how long it will take. So then you can decide based on each of the tests you get. But they also have these moderated studies, you see, where you have to use a webcam and share your screen with a moderator, so you have to usually be available at certain times. And here you can see you get a minimum of $30 for 30 minutes and $60 for 60 minutes. So you can potentially get $60 for 60 minutes, but just be aware that there are not that many of these like studies that are an hour. But of course, if you get access to it, it is quite a decent pay for sitting and doing something like this, that is basically just having a conversation with someone. But just because a study is available, whether it's one of the ones that doesn't pay that well or one that pays quite well, then you need to be aware that there's no guarantee how many you will get. get, or if you will qualify for the ones that are actually available, because especially for the higher paying ones, they are usually looking for specific profiles. So just because you see the invitation doesn't mean that you will necessarily be able to do it. You need to apply and then see if you get accepted. And in my experience, there are not that many tests on IntelliZoom, but as an extra platform to just get a test once in a while definitely can be worth it, because once you get one, especially some of them, then it can be some nice extra money. So to sum it all up, IntelliZoom I think can be an interesting way to earn a bit extra. It can be fun, and also for some of the tests you do get paid quite well for your time. But just don't expect to get invitations too often, so I wouldn't advise you to only use this panel. In general, especially with user tests, you should join quite a few panels because they don't have that many tests. So if you join more, then you can regularly get it, and then it can be some nice extra money to earn on the side. I do also have a list of the best user testing platforms in general on my website. I'll leave a link to that below. Then you can find more different panels you can join also. And if you prefer reading about IntelliZoom, I also do have a written review, so I will leave a link to that below also. And if this video helped you, please make sure to hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video with tips and tricks about different ways to make money online.